Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome to another Supreme Commander epic. Seem to be doing a lot of epics lately. It's not due to any design on my part. It's just what the replays are saying when they're coming my way, and the replay vault's still a little bit glitchy at the moment, so I'm a little bit confined as to the content that I put out. In that respect, guys, if you're sitting on any interesting 1v1s, 2v2s, or who knows, maybe a 5-player free-for-all and ends in 30 minutes with lots of action, send it my way, guys. I will give it the due diligence that it's required, and who knows, maybe you'll get featured spanking some of your evil enemies. Not that you have any, because it's all rainbows and daisies here on FAF. Well, not exactly, but it's it's all good. First of all, before we go on to today's action, though, a quick chat about the end-of-year tourney, the Legend of the Stars tournament. That's kicking off on December 2nd, but in order to reach that, first you have to qualify. So there are qualifying tourneys, the first of which goes down on the 10th of October. There's a small prize pool for that as well, interestingly enough. It's $60 to the winner, and the bottom qualifier, which is 4th place, gets $20, all of which in that bracket as well get a faction logo avatar, which is very nice. And if you successfully place in that top 4 and make it through to the final main tournament on the on December 2nd, the prize pool is a whopping, and I do mean whopping, $2,200. That is not too shabby, and who knows, it might still be going up. Donations for that, I believe, are still open. So if you would like to sign up for the qualifying tourney, check out the thread on the forum, link to which should be in the description below this video. If it's not, yell at me and I will make it so. That's enough of that. Let's get on with today's game. As we said, it's going to be an epic, it's going to be custom 4v4, and it's on the one, the only Setons clutch once again. Audible groan from those of you who are sick of it, but I just don't care because it's what I'm putting out today. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Chang, instant loading. That's what we like to see. We know what we're doing here. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top, this Team 2 down here at the bottom. Going first for Team 1 over at the beach in electric blue. It's none other than Carlitos, a name from the past. Haven't seen this guy much in the last couple of years, I suppose, but he's been around for some time now, and he's back and he's playing today. He's going UEF, so he hasn't abandoned all his senses, and he's opening first land. Over at the back in Spetsnaz green, it's VMC Snek, or Snek as we'll be referring to him today. Another UEF, this time going first land as well. Down at the cliffs for Team 1 in breast cancer awareness pink, our first spiky space socialist, it's Polygon, going Cybran, opening first land, second air, and last but not least, at the causeway here for Team 1, another Cybran, so it's 2 UEF and 2 Cybran for Team 1. It's 5-bag Nash, and he's opening first land there in baby blue. Let's check out Team 2 down here at the bottom. First of all, at the beach in Halley Orange, another UEF. It's the 11, and he's going first land. Over at the rearguard air position up at the back in Regal Purple, our first Seraphim of the day. It's Kuwa 123, and he is going first land. Over at the cliffs in Fabulous Vivacious Violet, it's KF Fredon, or Fredon, and that's how we were referring to him. Another Cybran opening first air this time. Getting that transport out early, no doubt, to get that side island. And on the causeway, last but not least, for Team 2, it's none other than Butcher in Mellow Yellow, going UEF. How very sensible, opening first land and second land as well. Not too unpredictable there, as to be expected. Game quality at 91%. That's pretty good. We can live with that. Bottom-rated player today is 5-bag Nash at 1200. Top-rated player is VMC Snek and the 11, both at 1600. So it's bridging that gap between Joes and Pros, but only a couple of actual Joes in residence. What's going on here? A little bit of circumnavigation, circumventing of the usual line of attack from an incoming ACU. Butcher making his way up the causeway there and making his way around the inevitable position of the com is 5-bag Nash in with a couple of labs and a couple of moles, trying to get down here and find some engineers to pick off. We do have a Snoop that seems to have spotted the danger, and a mech marine that was traversing the causeway and going northeasterly is actually coming back to try and engage that one rogue hunter that's breached through the outer defenses and is now bearing down on where he expects engineers to be hanging out, down by the hydro. Picks off a snoop, grabs another one, and now there's a couple of engineers in danger. Needs to get quick on the micro, pulls away, avoids the reclaim. Nicely handled. And that'll be the first engineer casualty of the day. Does manage to pick one up, but ultimately dies to that little hobo there coming in from the side. That mole survives on one hit point. A cat's sneeze away from death. Engineers make their way to the midpoint on the causeway there for Firebag Nash. They're going to throw down a T1 PD as the two comms get to work on grabbing the mass. Both Cliff players, respectively, on each teams have made landfall with their engineers there on the side islands. So nicely done there. No surprises. It's all proceeding as I had foreseen. Butcher gets to work on scooping the mass, as does his mirror here, Firebag Nash. We'll take a look at the end to see who actually fared better on the reclaim. I imagine it'll be end up being Firebag Nash, thanks to the emergence of that auto gun right in the middle. That'll be a real surprise there for Butcher. Don't often see that this early on a Setons. In comes a Lobo, though. Perhaps that PD isn't long for this world. Firebag Nash will want to get his comm in to kill that before it kills his PD. We've already got a radar and a tracer there for a bit of anti-aircraft cover. So this is a solid little opener from Firebag Nash. He does indeed bring his comm in to kill off the two Lobos. That eats two more shells and he loses that PD. How very irritating. Brings back the engineer in, presumably to rebuild that, and that's what he's going to do. Engineers behind start working on a forward factory. And we have a radar going up on the causeway further back for Butcher. I like this opening, actually, for 5. I'm just going to call him 5. Firebag Nash is a bag of hassle to say over and over again. So I think we can abandon that. Sky Slammer out on the side islands. Shoos away those inties from Carlitos. Who's going to be the first for a drop? Tell you who's going to be the first for a drop. That's Polygon. Airlifting, nothing special, just a couple of hunters there onto that cliff edge on the beach side of things. No doubt going to go hunting for some vulnerable engineers. Firebag Nash down to 6,100 HP. Butcher on 6,900 HP. Decent amount of Lobos up there. 5 needs to be really careful not to stand still under a full volley of those. That will take half of his hit points away in one fell swoop, assuming fire randomization doesn't play up too much. And now we're starting to see the emergence of some naval yards. One over here at the beach here for Carlitos, who's also got an airdrop on the way. Looks like a bunch of Lobos queued up on that. See if we can tell where that's going. Well, that is coming in for a solid across the causeway maneuver, and then an angle of attack that'll drop him in behind Butcher's main base over there. That could be problems brewing for Butcher while his comm is on causeway duty up in the middle. 5 down to 3,700. That might be due to an aforementioned Lobo strike that I thought you'd have to be wary of. Checking out the reclaim figures if we can. It's all zeroed, so something's not working well on the scoreboard today. A little bit annoying. Wonder if a recent patch has broken that. We'll get on to Hazard if he's not already watching and see what's been said on that. Lots of people always mention as well, what are these mods? Well, probably means you're playing on Steam and not on the FAF client, and if that is the case, life is harder for you generally, be it installing mods or getting a girlfriend. But seriously, if you're playing on Steam, come join us. This is one of the many reasons why you can have access to lots of mods that occasionally get broken and have to get fixed. But it's still better than not having them at all. Gun upgrade on the way there for Butcher. How did that drop go? Well, it made landfall. They're going straight after a core T2 mechs. There are lots of tanks lying in wait though, so it's not going to be as successful as I thought it might have been when I first saw that approach. Is he going to bag that T2 mechs? 400 hit points left and no more shells inbound. So quick response there from Butcher, manages to save that all-important T2 mechs. He has lost one over here. Don't know whether that was T2 or T1. All the others are T2, so we can assume that Carlitos did manage to snag at least one T2 mechs in that exchange. And despite that opening that I said I liked, 5 seems like he's a little bit on the back foot here. Yellow UEF units encroaching now on that forward land factory. Butcher dropping back with his comm. He's got another facility, or set of facilities, queued up here over this mechs. Whether or not he sticks to that, I suppose, will depend on how this little exchange goes. Butcher with some engineers now throwing down wall sections. I'm wondering if that's going to be the definitive front line that he's going to stick to. Cheeky little bit of bomber action in from Fredon. Apart from snagging that side island, he's been a little quiet so far. I'd tell a lie, we've just missed it. Nice little drop in the backfield over here, harassing Carlitos. So there is stuff going on many levels on this one already. Polygon getting an upgrade on his comm, going for T2. Going for the all-important extra build capacity. Sneck at the backfield is on T3 and working on a reactor. How does that compare to his mirror over here? Well, the T3 reactor's just completed there for Kuwa, who is now working on his first ASFs, it looks like. I'm not quite sure with the icons on the Seraphim. Yes, indeed, that is a UEF ASF functional and swatting a couple of landed scout planes there belonging to Sneck. Sneck goes green on that reactor. Still producing T3 engineers out of it, but I imagine that's going to switch up to ASF soon enough. So we've got some vessel movement now in both the top and bottom ponds. All 4 of the main naval players have naval presence. Factories in typical places. And a significant number of them over here from Polygon. 5 T1s, 3 of which actively working on Trident production, the other 2 lying dormant for the time being. Tactical missile upgrade from Butcher. Things are about to get wild. And that's already 60% done. This could catch 5 out quite badly. Fortunately, he's repped up his comm, so have a little bit of a buffer against a potential TAC missile snipe. But check this out. Drops all along the coastline over here to the east of Butcher's base. The lead ones up at the front line have run into a bunch of those strikers. The ones nearer the base get a little bit further in but suffer a similar fate. Will the ones in the backfield have any more luck? Well, they found a vulnerable T2 mechs. That's gone down, and they might also be able to snag the Hydro here. NG storage is probably going to die. There that goes, and its explosion takes out a couple of T1 P-gens as well. Not worrying about the Hydros, just going straight for those T2 mexes. And he manages to bag it. Will he move on to the Hydro? Producers fire a few rounds as they pass. Looks like they'll probably get that. But Now they've lost the ability to outrun the strikers. They are pretty much on top of those artillery pieces now. And Butcher says, yeah, well, you know what? I've got tac missiles that fly very high and cause lots of damage. He responds in kind. There is a line of zappers going up around 5's comm. And, oh my goodness me. Now, I'm assuming... Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's annoying because he will have killed a bunch of units already. He's got 14 kills on the comm. So I can't tell what's... I can't imagine he will have destroyed all of those land factories on purpose to reclaim them. I'm imagining most of those have been attack missile snipes, and he's managed to pick off 2 of the central mexes. Yeah, that looks like a solid exchange there that's gone in favour of Butcher with that tac missile upgrade. He's got the Zepham and T2 engineering suite on board as well. Getting some tac missile defense of his own up and running. Trident's drifting on back to base. And check this out. So the side island of Fredon has been completely annihilated by, I'm assuming, Carlitos and this Thunderhead frigate fleet. Nice little bit of maneuverings there, giving him potentially an advantage in the top pond. That will be why Fredon was pulling his vessels back, and he's managed to lose 2 out of 3 of the naval yard's base there. It looks like he might lose the 3rd as well. Down that goes. He's not going to fend off this superior fleet. In fact, he's probably going to lose all of those Thunderheads. Submarines out there to boot. Generally bad news for frigates. No ability to fire back at them. Back over to the causeway. 5 scoots away further back to his base. Let's do a quick ASF check to see who's ruling the skies right now. 21 ASFs for Team 2 and Kuwar. And Sneck on Team 1, loitering close to his base, is on 18. Still, those tac missiles rain in. Butcher has annihilated his mirror on the causeway. His base has been completely annihilated. And still those tac missiles continue to rain down. So Carlitos might have scored some hits, some wins against that side island of Fredons over there, but I think that pales slightly compared to the progress Butcher has made on the causeway with that tac missile launcher. He was on 14 kills, I think, last time we looked at him. He's on 34 now, and to my knowledge hasn't engaged anything directly on the ground with his comm, so that is all going to be long-range tac missile commander kills. And you can see him making his way back onto the causeway there. He drifted out so he could fire around that little zapper station. It was all well and good. 5 throwing some some TMDs up there at the front, but it was too easy to go around, and now he has some more zappers out. You can see Mantis being used out of desperation with their engineer function to help construct those, help get them built. A couple of torpedo bombers from Kuwa harassing T2 Naval HQ of Carlitos. Now we get an ASF mingling, and that's gone badly for Kuwa. Snek comes out way on top, brought his ASFs to defend against the torpedo bombers. Kuwa underestimated the numbers and generally just got a bad engage there. Butcher still launching missiles out of the water like a Trident submarine. This must be hugely demoralizing for 5. Another T2 mechs down, so 5 is on 61 mass per tick. Butcher on 114, 15-ish, there or thereabouts. Important that he continues to build up his eco. Doesn't spend all of his APM trying to hit out at 5. But now we've got a strap bomber overhead from Snek following that successful aerial engage over the top of Carlitos' vessels. And he's going to score some payback for his teammate. 1 T2 mechs down. Another T2 mechs down that was about a third of the way upgraded to T3. Kuwa comes in with 1 ASF, scores a couple of hits before getting shot down. T3 mechs core for the 11 loses its associated mass storage, but obviously survives. More vulnerable T2 mechs at the cliffs, however, does not. Engineers hurriedly throwing down railguns, scoring a lot of damage on the strap bomber, but it will survive. The question is, will it survive this? I doubt it. It does get another bomb off, though. Fortunately for the 11, it's another T3. Loses the mass storage, but saves the mechs with the extra hit point buffer the T3 gets. Sam's over here, helping to thin out those hostile ASFs from Team 1. And that's a much better engage, a nice pursuit, picking off those tailing fighters. Another ambassador lurking over the center. Like it was going to go on another rampage, but thought better of it after those ASFs from Kuwa returned. Starting to see more and more strats emerging from Team 1. There's a lot of T1 shipyards that have emerged for Carlitos there in the top pond. Quick head count of those. 12. Somebody put down a message. You're going to lose your HQ to TMLs. So I don't know if he actually managed to pick that off and it got rebuilt, or whether it was a little bit too far for Butcher to hit. Lots of early plays, lots of unusual plays as well. Nice to see a little bit of diversity from the games we're used to. Bulwark ship out now, cruiser, destroyers here and there, a couple of torpedo boats. Carlitos' navy beginning that T2 conversion. His opponent here at the top pawn, Fredon, still looking very T1 centric, and we are starting to see some T2 vessels rolling out. Yeah, just a little bit behind the curve though. Wave of spy planes from Snek. Getting an updated read on what's going on over Team 2's territory. He strats as he stockpiled now. Well, he's only got two. It's predominantly on ASF production. Nothing surprising about that. So, eco-wise, who's doing best? Carlitos on 330. Kuwa on 411. The 11's on 355. And Polygons on 490. Generally, Cliffs seem to be able to pull in the most. Fredon and the 11, sorry, not illustrating that for us in the same measure. Those tridents for Fredon going to back up, and that's a wise decision. So T2 in there, and is that a battle cruiser that came out of that T3 shipyard? Yes, it is. So we have a Neptune under that shield. That's definitely not something that Fredon wants to be engaging in at close range. There's two of those now. This game seems to be escalating incredibly quickly. 24.5 minutes gone. Carlitos needs to find a way to get those battle cruisers close to these cruisers over here. Governor's just outside the shield coverage now, and now the shield's collapsed. There's some nice pushback here from Fredon. Strat in the backfield there for Snek, going after T2 mexes on the side island for Fredon, who's managed to reclaim everything and reset up after earlier losses. Runs into a SAM site, hits out of the T3 mechs, kills the storage, and that will be it as he hits the main horde of ASFs. Best bet would be probably to try and take out a second T2 mechs over here rather than pushing inland. That was never going to end well. This is more of the engagement now that Carlitos will have wanted to get those Neptunes into play. Wants to focus their fire on the T2s though. Salem's and then the cruisers, that would be ideal. At the moment, a lot of tridents are soaking up that damage. We're up to 4 Neptunes now for Carlitos. Looking positively deadly. Bottom pond very static in terms of naval play. Both teams content to sit back and stock up on units. Butcher has produced a naval yard, but it's sat at T1 and lying dormant currently. Polygon asking if his air player Snek can take out the torpedo bombers so he can use his subs. Excuse me. Still not back up to 100%. Might not have mentioned it actually. I mentioned it on a premium cast that went out last week. Been a bit under the weather. Don't worry, it's not COVID. Family's all been tested. Couple of summits sitting on the edge of shield coverage, lobbing their artillery in towards those frigate flotillas. The larger vessels back there, are those some battleships? Yes, they are, and there's a lot of them. 5 Galaxy-class battleships pushing forward. He hasn't waited for complete torpedo bomber removal. Polygon just sending those Barracudas in. Going after the shield boats. Taking away defensive measures as those Galaxies bring their guns to bear. Checking back in with the top pond. We do have a Galaxy class out for Kuwar, but it's facing some stiff opposition from all these battle cruisers. A little bit of tech sharing going on. So Butcher has set up, he put one naval yard in the bottom pond down here, left it, and that's about to get wiped out, but he set up his main focus in the top pond up here. Transferred 1 or 2 shield boats over to his teammates. Missile launchers up front for the 5, who's been very quiet since that opening went disastrously wrong for him, but seems to have got himself re-established. Quantum Gateway up, working on a Monkey Lord. That could be a nice surprise for Butcher. Bit of payback if it's not already been scouted. Vessels getting right close to that T3 Naval HQ, but the Neptune takes good care of those. There's quite a lot of summits in here now also, but they are fighting on their doorstep. Very well balanced game this. 31 minutes in, and there's forward pressure on the causeway admittedly, and some in the bottom pond, but the top pond is like 50-50. But Butcher getting some serious breakthrough there, manages to take out those TAC missile launchers. But that Monkey Lord is complete. That will brush aside this attack. But it will also remove any potential surprise. Butcher will have a chance to set out his defense. Engineers brought to the front line at precisely the worst time. heard so much about this war. They wanted to get involved and do their part. And then they're airdropped in front of this thing. You see their comrades vaporized. I think they just got Control K'd for their trouble. Sensible decision. Why hand it free veterancy? Polygon. Starting laser. Oh dear. Somebody's getting bored. Cybran has to go and jump into someone's base with a laser. That finished remarkably fast. Sat right next to those hives. Stored up eco. Partially emptied. Now check out this fight back in the bottom pond from the 11. Lots of battleships pushing back against a 50-50 mix up here of battleships and aircraft carriers. A horde of ASF sitting either side of the causeway, and that front line of butchers that's held for about the last 20-25 minutes just breeze through without any problems. No gunships to hand to bring to bear and provoke an air battle. Instead, it's full retreat and consolidate back here. Butcher gets to work on a line of Ravagers under shield coverage right in the center of his base. One Ravager up front. Support commander, assisted with a lot of T1 engineers, fires off its first volleys. Interesting. Monkey Lord not going to stroll through that. And that will be a missed opportunity to push any further. 5 playing tentatively here. I don't blame him after the start that he had. He's only just got back into it. Spent a lot getting his first experimental up comparatively. Just want to throw it all away. But potentially a missed opportunity to dismantle another front line and leave Butcher open right at the foot of his base. Of course, you're not to know there isn't a huge horde of gunships waiting to come in and knock that out. Still relatively even exchanges in the top pond. It feels like Carlitos slowly losing ground against Fredon. Let's do a quick ASF count, see where these air players are up. They're producing vast quantities of aircraft. 503 active, fully fueled, 24 bingo on fuel for Team 2. Sneck on 299, 16 extras bingo on fuel. That is a massive discrepancy. Sneck does not want an air fight right now. And it is definitely time for Kuwar to start pumping out more air-to-ground or air-to-sea weaponry. We've got torpedo bombers coming out to assist in the bottom pond against what is a very formidable looking wolf pack. Check out all these barracudas locking onto these trailing summits. But there are aircraft carriers sitting right behind them, and they have outrageous anti-air capabilities. Oh, another one of those. That'll be the end of that. Torpedo bombers Gonna do the job, or are they sticking with the subs? There it goes. So bit by bit, combination of those torpedo bombers and those summits eating away at that fleet of polygons. Check this out though. Naval cohesion for Carlitos well and truly broken. Neptune battle cruisers with their huge ion cannons doing their best to sweep up the incoming Tridents, but they're taking a lot of Galaxy-class battleship fire from the backfield. Neptune down up front. Now getting some torpedo bombers out from Carlitos. Also some broadswords lurking nearby, so Carlitos getting serious about the air game. Fredon putting out 381, Carlitos 645. It's interesting to note that Carlitos, even with all of the naval yards, is falling back in the face of Fredon's fleet when he's so much further ahead on eco, and he really is. That is extraordinary. But I'm guessing just with all of the assistance that's being given, the engineers, he's directing that economy with more efficiency into naval production than Carlitos is. Another experimental out from 5. This time it's a bug. Now, will this have any major impact on the top pond fleet battle? Experimental. Hello! Mavor. Under construction. Up the back. Game ender time, baby, at 37 minutes. We're looking for the experimental that he's built. He's already finished. So spread out. Sure exactly where it is. He's had one bug transferred over to him. Brought in to come and contend with some of these frigates, leading the way in towards the main base, and the T3 naval headquarters production is now being severely disrupted. Cannot start work on the next summit with all of the shells raining in. Storks fly overhead, inbound to try and upset these vessels from Team 2, and the incoming fire. My God, check out the T1 naval factory spam. The 11 desperate to outproduce Polygon, and it's going quite nicely for them. You've got to admit, they're winning in the top pond. A couple of cheeky Neptunes getting in around the edge of the main fleet, but otherwise they're definitely pushing back against Team 1. They seem to have the numbers to be pushing back properly against Team 1 up at the top, although we're starting to get harms under construction here, which will slow them down. And in terms of ASF numbers, Kuwa seems way ahead. It's now pumping out huge quantities of torpedo bombers to assist with these naval battles. All of the T2PD in the world around Kuwa's comm. Oh look, check it out. Another laser This time for 5. He's already got teleport. Actually happened with Polygon. Where is he? He's down here. So he built the laser but didn't go for the teleport. So no snipe inbound there as yet. Still remains an option, of course. Taking him too long to complete one of those. So 5 now has the laser and the teleport. Oh. And he's gating somewhere. He's teleporting somewhere. Very unwise to go there. Who's vulnerable? All the T1 PD in the world over there. Definitely not vulnerable. How about Butcher? That's not him. He's over here and he's starting work on T1 PDs. I hear something going pop. He's gated out. He's teleported. He's not gone to Butcher. He's gone straight over here. Oh my gosh. Fredon is sniped by 5. Wow. It was all going so nicely in the top pond. This is of course Setons, so I imagine full share is on. Which means of course somewhere a fairy has died from terminal herpes. All of his stuff predominantly transferred over to Butcher. So the problem still remains for Carlitos. One lone Atlantis out front trying to fend off all of this. Down goes the T3 Air HQ. 5 teleported home safely. Smouldering after that, and he's off again. This time will he go for Butcher, I wonder? Butcher was the next vulnerable guy, but he's not so vulnerable anymore. Stacks of T1 PDs, Ravagers all round him. Don't want to miss him this time. Teleport charging. All of the Gunthers in the world queued up there next to his base.
Commander under attack.
Where is he? He's down there, right in the center, and he's not going to make that, surely. No, that was not a wise decision. And he went for a Mavor that's under construction over here. My retinas no longer exist. Jesus. So 5 sacrifices himself. Was hoping he'd be away from the T1 PD, but still inside it. Well, to be honest, he was still in range of the T2 PD back here. And there's so much T1 PD around it that generally went really bad. Chill, guys, he's dead. And Mavor is 50% done. Let's check it out compared to the work that's going on at the back there for Sneck. So Sneck's artillery piece is ahead. It's now battle for Mavor construction and who can defend it best. But this is not looking good in either of the ponds for Team 1. So it's vitally important that they win the upcoming standoff race. And Polygon agrees. He sent outrageous numbers of support commanders up to assist construction here. This is now a proper dual effort. This is going to be interesting. 41, nearly 42 minutes gone. We are now entering game ender phase of this 4v4. It's now a 3v3 after 5's glorious snipe and then not so glorious suicide. You can see what he was trying to do, and had he succeeded, that would have given them a wonderful advantage, at least in one area. Now it looks very probable, though, still, that at the very least this will still finish second. Behold the mighty erection. Boom. You would imagine target prioritization set on that opposing Mavor, which is actually almost done. So the first shell's only just away, and we are nearly at completion. Kudos to Team 2 for responding as quickly as they have. Now it's a race to see who can penetrate the shields quicker. Incredibly difficult.
Strategic launch detected.
Incredibly difficult to contend with Mavors. Try to keep your shields functional. A nuke out will take out a great deal of the firepower in the bay for Team 2. Lovely placed nuke from Carlitos. Oh my goodness, I think only 2 battleships survive out of that. That is about as well placed a nuke as you could possibly hope to fire. Wow. Huge quantities of clink hammers set up on the beach. Suddenly their day just got a little bit easier with that close fire support nuke. Battle of the shield production. Ooh, and a Scathis on the way as well. So Team 1 fully committing now to artillery play. Scathis with that outrageous coverage. Scathis and a Mavor. Outrageous shotgun coverage coupled with penetrating
Strategic
precision of
detected.
that Mavor. But interestingly enough, it seems the 11 not going straight after the Mavor, knows he's not going to break through straight away, and instead going after the exposed P-Gens, T3 reactors. Try and slow up progression that way. Lovely strike there. Vulnerable P-Gens and air factories just getting taken out. What's that done to his power? Well, he's still perfectly comfortable power-wise.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke out, this time I have no idea where. I cannot see the thing, there's so much going on. There it is. It was traversing through Butcher's naval units, presumably from this strategic missile submarine here. Oh, that's not good for Team 1. That's not good in the slightest. Wow. Carlitos is beach, which he's been stalwartly defending with artillery and shields and point defense. Now an irradiated mess of tangled metal and sand turned to glass. Now, a little bit of switch up from Team 1. Also realizing it's not going to be easy work penetrating that, but what on earth? He's picked off something. He's picked off Kuwa. How did he manage that? Answers on a postcard if you saw that one. He doesn't even know how he died. He was under shield. The shield must have been breached. But then the Mavor is currently targeting the backfield. So that's an absolute mystery. He must have been hit by something. Sneck asking if it's a Control K accident. Oh no, if that was the case. It looks like it's taken everybody by surprise, not just me. Likely a rational explanation for it. One rogue
Strategic launch
Mavor
detected.
shell landing at the perfect time for a shield blink. So now it is a 3v2, and the 11 has full responsibility for a whole lot of extra stuff, and now there's a Scathis online as well. And that gets its first outrageous volley away. Nuke out from Butcher clears the path for a column of Percys moving up the causeway. All of this now likely to get taken out. We have a megalith patrolling to defend against that. Where's the Scathis targeting? I imagine it'll be trying to take this out. So they managed to take down the Mavor. So they must have breached the shields. There's no question. The shield must have been breached. And it probably landed close to Kuwa, who was probably sat next to a P-Gen. Oh, this is not looking good for Team 2 now. This really isn't. Won't take long to break through those shields. But the Mavor quickly resurrected. The 11 now with a phenomenally large eco thanks to inheriting the rest of Kuwa's infrastructure, sitting at 1.3k. So a huge amount of directional or directable economic power now at the 11's hands. Percy's finished off by the megalith. They did clear that little forward base. Carlitos slowly pushing forward shield coverage to protect those beach mexes. There's a lot of governors sitting in the bay though, continually lobbing missiles in towards that main base. And Polygon has just been royally pushed off his cliff base altogether. All core mass gone, all everything gone, thanks to these summits parked in the bay here from the 11. That was all his work as well.
Strategic
Obviously, the
launch
bottom
detected.
pond. Another nuke out. This time it's from Carlitos again. Is it going back towards the bay? I think it'd be crazy not to. Oh, it might be going side island the way that's drifting northwards. Gotta like how well this area is holding up, though, to a Mavor and a Scathis. 5 saying the Mavor might be dead now. No, it really isn't. I mean, I'd agree with you. I would have expected it to be under this barrage. This is just outrageous. There's new engineers on rover drones constructing new shields all the time. And I'm wondering if he's manually operating these shields, which is very hard to do, very APM heavy and time consuming. Was the side island there for that nuke from Carlitos. Involves unpowering shields, and then after other shields fail, you turn the other shields back on straight away. Proper redundancy instead of having all shields active and all shields getting depleted at the same time. But it is very time consuming. And usually it's nigh on impossible to keep up, especially to this kind of artillery peppering that he's getting at the moment. Just check out the damage that it's doing. And a second Scathis on the way. He might be pushed up in the 2 ponds, but base under serious pressure now. Definitely can't afford to lose this Mavor. But I don't know how he's going to manage to hold out here. Oh, oh, no. Building more shields over here. Trouble is, the further he goes that way, the less coverage the Mavor's actually going to be getting. He's got so many shields on that side of things now. He needs more on this side. 52 minutes gone. The 11 not ready to give up yet. As well they shouldn't. I mean, look at the rest of the map. They have Team 1 completely confined to their top right hand corner. Needs to watch out for losing strategic missile defense, though. Getting a nuke to the face. Imagine there'll be SMD lurking around here. There's one here, so they'd all have to traverse that to get in. But they really are trying to focus this down, and just look at the work that the 11's doing. Somehow that didn't take out that little mass fab farm there. Butcher, worst case, shoot all our nukes, so there's clearly a lot of strategic firepower in the top. Oh my goodness, yeah, look at these. Most of these are loaded with at least one nuke on board, so that's a lot of potential nuclear fire ready to go. Monkey Lord almost breaching shield coverage, but Carlitos with tons of broadswords lurking. Annihilate it just as it gets off the beach. Oh, back shields have gone. Is nuke stacking bannable? I definitely don't think it is. That would be the first I've heard of it, and if it is, that's ludicrous. That's the whole point. Trying to overwhelm strategic defenses with numerical superiority. 5. Those nuke subs scare me. Yes, yes, they should. many nuke subs are we looking at here? So he's got 9. The 11's got 9. And the Butcher has 6. It's potentially 15 nuke volley all in one go. Ooh, hello.
Strategic launch detected.
Oh, no, it's Carlitos. That's not the wave we're looking for. Oh, this could slow up my computer just a little bit. I always get props for everybody for my stack. It's like, how are you still running
Strategic launch detected.
at like -1 with everything going on? Well, I'm not now. I'm now operating at a sim speed of -7 because of the sheer weight of this set of aerial maneuvers now being performed by these two teams. Sheer number of projectiles. 5 says, farewell my CPU. Yeah, there is a lot going on. I hear the experimental bomber dropping its payload somewhere. Another Monkey Lord closing in on the beach. Experimental bomber completed there, so that's only the second one. Dear Lord, would you look at it? It's just unreal. UEF wasps in with those 1950s sci-fi Disney lasers. Amplified by the fact that I'm still running Bloom, but that is a royal mess. Time to study the model of the anti-nuke, which is nice. Some of the conversations going on. A little bit of recovery. We're up to -5. As the number of units dwindles massively compared to where we were at before. The sheer processing of all the maneuvers, and now Snek is in behind the back of Butcher's ASFs. All the time there's fighting, of course, going off over the top of air defenses for Team 1. And Snek and Team 1 will hold the field. And the response will be a massive nuclear exchange as torpedo bombers from Carlitos and Snek lock on to those strategic missile submarines. They have forced their hand, and in come the missiles, and that Mavor is still alive. I can't believe it. Anti-nukes doing their best to contend with all of these nukes coming in simultaneously from the 11 and Butcher, and so far they're managing it. Another one out from back here. In comes the experimental bomber as well. It's going to go over a whole bank of SAMs. A quarter of its HP down. And the ASF's lurking just behind it. Finish the job. In come 2 more nukes. How many anti-nukes are left? That's the question. 1, 2. Wow. The 11 says, I give up.
Strategic launch detected.
Don't give up.
Strategic launch detected.
There's still more nukes. Butcher's sat over here. Fires 2 more. Mavor's still alive. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. We've got 2 Scathis and a Mavor running. No. Yeah, we do.
Strategic launch detected.
Inbound with another nuke. Is that... Oh my god. No. Wow. Just wow. So Sneck's base is gone. Royally, well and truly gone. And the Mayflower's still alive. Look! Look! Just look at it! That is phenomenal. 2 Scathis and a Mavor. WTF, WTF, says Sneck, and I don't blame you. How on earth? Some kennels, you know, repairing shields. Well, yeah, that's an understatement. In all fairness, he was making progress. Look at what's left compared to the huge amounts of infrastructure that was there when all of the firing started. Now, Carlitos fires a nuke out.
Launch detected.
Retribution against those subs. And maybe a few of the summits lurking nearby.
Launch detected.
They get another one out. Oh, misses 2 of the subs. And that one will get shot down. And there's more nukes inbound. Will this game finish inside an hour? 2 minutes left. Can't quite believe that. And now the Mavor switching up to targets over here on Carlitos' side of things. Looks like it's had a lot of shots at that. I was talking about precision earlier. So much precision now. Polygon stacking strap bombs in the fire zone. Bad place for those. Before we load next nukes, you have time to rebuild the Mavor. Don't worry. Just wow. I can't believe it. And now he's having power troubles. Couldn't have happened earlier. Just insane. Clonk. Carlitos, 1 nuke loaded, heavily assisting it with rover drones.
Strategic launch detected.
There's a lot of support commanders here, and they're going to get to work on a gateway. How much of an attempt at rebuilding are we going to get from Sneck? There's another scath that's nearly complete. Nuke inbound, though, from Butcher. Any anti-nukes left? Yep. Just about keeping up with the spam. There's 4 anti-nuke silos in this little area, all currently empty, mind. Just insane. Now, he's going to have to get back to shield micro again soon. It's going to be another wave of Scathis fire inbound. Carlitos hits the cliffs with his nuke. Experimental bomb over the top. Landing on the shields, but with not much else hitting them. It's a bit of a futile gesture at the current moment. So much anti-air dotted around here. Not really going to get a chance to circle much and drop extra payloads. I'd love to see Sneck get rebuilt after that, but it's a tall order. Now Carlitos finds himself defending against
Strategic
Mavor fire on his main base.
Strategic launch detected.
Front shield collapses. A few clink hammers go down. Another scath is under production, so Polygon in the ascendancy here. Haven't actually stopped to take a moment to talk about mass totals generally.
Strategic
And he's
launch
not going
detected.
after the Mavor. No, he's going into the backfield, which is wide open. Ho, ho, ho. Chain reaction.
Strategic launch detected.
But they've got a Yolona Os. Perhaps the rarest structure in the game.
Strategic launch detected. Strategic launch detected.
But all of the air production facilities there are pretty much toast. We've got a few left under here, but they won't last long. But now, trying to contend with this kind of spam will be nigh on impossible. Couple of nukes out from Team 1. Whoa. Spot on with their nuclear defense now. Team 1. And the sheer number of projectiles now causing that bug where we see the little yellow markers disappear. Now is he switching back to the
Strategic
Mavor? It
launch
looks like he
detected.
might be. Yes, indeed.
Strategic launch detected.
Experimental bomber at 20,000 hit points. Another nuke inbound. Team 2 desperate to take this Scathis back out of the equation, but just look at the sheer number of
Strategic
anti-nukes
launch detected.
that we've got in here. We've got about
Strategic launch detected.
9 or 10, 11 or 12 maybe even anti-nuke silos over here. Could do with getting some more shield coverage though. Awasar shot down. Just nukes flying in every direction. This is insane.
Strategic launch detected.
And this is just going to spam them. If you're not familiar with it, the progress bar, look how quickly that rebuilds with support. And each one of these nukes takes 2 anti-nukes to kill it. The Mavor is still online. I just don't understand. I don't understand it.
Strategic launch detected.
So it looks like Carlitos is now the designated beneficiary of the Yolona Os missiles. They're not incoming towards the Scathis anymore.
Strategic launch detected.
Oh, that took up 3 anti-nukes. It's that double hit that does lead to wastage when you have redundancy.
Strategic
He's
launch
got 3
detected.
anti-nukes in here. This is just bananas. And again, frustrated by the uber-competent German engineering on these shields as Team 1 switch up to the vulnerable sections further back.
Strategic launch detected.
I'm sure they'd love to take that out. That is their biggest headache right now as far as I'm concerned. When that hits, it's truly devastating. Little firebase on the cliffs, consigned to the annals of history. Mavor definitely needs a redirect. If only to start hunting some of the SMDs about the place. One hit in here. I'm wondering, it leads me to wonder if they've been scouted properly. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like it has. But overall, the mass totals are not very far apart. So Team 1, 6.57 million. Team 2, 6.86 million mass. About 300,000, which is actually a lot, but in a game that's gone on this long with the sheer amounts
Strategic launch detected.
that have been harvested.
Strategic launch
Oh
detected.
man, they need to redirect the Mavor. Spamming more nuke subs, says Butcher.
Strategic launch
Target
detected.
the same thing. Can we overcome that?
Strategic launch
There we
detected.
go. Now we're seeing Mavor being brought to bear where it's needed.
Strategic launch
Going
detected.
hunting after SMDs. I have a feeling this will soon be down and out. Sneck currently rebuilding up at the back, but he's still a long ways off where he needs to be. Check out what's going on in the top pond though. So Carlitos expanding heavily out with T1 naval yards. Huge quantities of broadswords pushing out across the
Strategic
water as
launch
well.
detected.
Hoovering up a lot of those frigates. Scathis poking out against the shield there. Woeful Cybran shielding, not cutting the proverbial mustard. And now we're at double Scathis again for Team 1. This is a remarkable recovery. Wonderful work repelling all of this pressure and holding out against the nuke spam.
Strategic launch detected. Strategic launch detected.
And now it's Butcher's front line that's taking the brunt of
Strategic
the
launch detected.
Scathis. It's just unreal. It's like they're not bothering to waste their artillery on trying to break through to that Mavor. They have fired so much ordnance at it, and as yet it remains unbreached for the most part. There have been a few casualties here and there, but Strat skirting by the top of the screen there from Carlitos. Wonder what they're looking for.
Strategic launch
Look
detected.
at that artillery crossing the map. Double Scathis. I don't think we've had one of the Yolona Osses connect yet.
Strategic launch detected.
There it goes.
Strategic launch detected.
Few of the shells landing on top of the Mavor once again. Ooh,
Strategic launch
no,
detected.
just a regular nuke. Wondered if we had a casualty there for a moment. So they switch up to the backfield to go after the Yolona Oss. Again, though, the dispersal pattern's so wide by the time it's travelled that far. Mavor. Oh, nearly taking out a couple of support commanders there. The anti-nuke spam is extraordinary. Team 1, hats off to you guys. The sheer nuke count that has been fired. If you were playing a nuke drinking game every time somebody said strategic launch detected, I think that would be a trip to the emergency room or casualty to get your stomach pumped.
Strategic launch detected.
It has been ridiculous.
Strategic
It's actually been a
launch
long
detected.
time since I saw
Strategic launch
a
detected.
game of this magnitude. So we're 1 hour, 10 minutes. And the sheer amount of nuke and artillery spam. But still, neither side able to break through in the crucial areas that they need to. A lot of revenants taking off.
Strategic launch detected.
Ambassadors trying to break through in the back there for Carlitos, but there are so many Myrmidons. Oh look, a sea-based Scathis. I didn't even know you could do that. Is that a thing? The Scathis is amphibious?
Strategic
The
launch
Scathis
detected.
is amphibious. Surely it can't fire underwater. How did I not know that? Well, I've never seen anyone do that before.
Strategic launch detected.
That's insane.
Strategic launch
Nuke launcher
detected.
up at the back with lots of support commanders under Mavor fire. And still the Yolana Os is yet to land a hit. And if he could just sneak one of those in, all of this goes away. All of it.
Strategic launch detected.
But they are doing such
Strategic
remarkable
launch
work.
detected.
Another Scathis under construction over here for Polygon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The Mavor's breaking through. One Scathis down. Other Scathis vulnerable. We lost one of the SMDs. So that buys Team 2 a bit of a reprieve. That's a Yolana Os. It hits one. Yeah, there it is again. It sounds like I'm taking sides, and I'm really not, but I would like to see one of those land, because it's such a thing of beauty. Oh,
Strategic launch
and many more hits like that from the Mavor, and it just might. All of these support commanders. And the second Scathis is down.
Strategic launch
So the
detected.
Mavor actually breaches through. And that takes off huge amounts of pressure. I would not land and store my strats up there at the back by the target that the Mavor is firing at. That is absolutely crucial. Another wave of strats from Carlitos just flying over the top of the Myrmidons. They've got AoE, of course, remember. So that is not going to go well for them. Only a couple likely to make it through to the mountains, and even then, do they get a chance to drop their payloads? Yes, but it all impacts on the shields. So the Yolana Os yet to land, but it's all about this.
Strategic launch
This
detected.
one Mavor and the support that it's got. It's on 226 kills, but it's outlasted all of its opponent's artillery. And it's effectively striking back inland. And if it carries on, it's going to undermine
Strategic launch detected.
Team 1's ability to defend this entire area against that Yolana Os. And once one of those lands, that surely will be curtains on this game for Team 1.
Strategic launch detected.
It's the only way you can
Strategic
do it.
launch detected. Strategic
You've got the
launch
Yolana
detected.
Os.
Strategic launch
Surely
detected.
you'll be able to break through. And here comes another volley from Butcher's nuke subs. Using up what vital anti-nuke missiles these guys have left. Carlitos fires one back. Not sure how many died in that blast. There's a lot back here though. Oh, there's one. Is it gonna land? It's gonna land! The Yolana Os lands! Sneck not far away. Will he survive? No, he won't. It's bagged Sneck.
Strategic launch detected.
Oh my god. So one Mavor can kill all of that, but one Mavor and two
Strategic
Scathis
launch
can't
detected.
kill yours. WTF. It is. It's the shield micro. It's wonderful play from the 11,
Strategic launch
keeping this
detected.
alive. He's had lots of help on the ground here from Butcher with lots of little parashields, but then of course I suppose for a lot of it the Scathis in the centre hadn't been firing at that. It had been taking targets
Strategic
elsewhere. It had been
launch
up front on the causeway. It had been the backfield.
Strategic launch detected.
Is that another Yolana Os coming in here to finish off everything over this way? Team 1 actually well outperforming for the time being Team 2 on Eco. Team 2's bases over here have been just rinsed by all of the Scathis fire and everything else. Carlitos, well, up until a moment ago, up until that
Strategic
second
launch
Yolana
detected.
Os landed, he was on 1.7k per tick. It's all gone horribly wrong now, and now there's Scathis landing in his main base.
Strategic launch detected.
Is he going for the nuke subs?
Strategic launch detected.
Quite possibly. Or is he going deeper after the Yolana Os? Ooh,
Strategic
what's going on
launch
here?
detected.
So Polygon went for a little tac missile cheekiness, and
Strategic
he's not
launch
going to make it. Teleported. Had the microwave laser, but everything's so well protected, he wasn't going to snipe with that. So was going for a tac missile barrage instead. Support commanders lying in wait for Butcher started putting up TMD, and now it's Carlitos versus the 11 and Butcher
Strategic
all
launch
by his
detected.
lonesome. And he's going to have a tough time keeping all of that out of his base. Scathis fire coming from the other direction now. Wow. The Yolana Os, though, died. They managed to sneak a nuke in. So Carlitos buys himself a bit of a reprieve. One more missile inbound. Will that land, though? No, it won't. So Carlitos keeps that out. Just insane. My brain was too slow, says the 11. Well, I think you've outlasted everybody else, essentially. Carlitos now has a world of pain trying to keep up
Strategic
with everything
launch
that's going to
detected.
come his way. Thankfully for him, he managed to take out the Yolana Os.
Strategic launch detected.
Second Mavor under construction.
Strategic launch detected.
And that will be a problem. Where's that Scathis? It was over here, so it's at this little beach bit.
Strategic launch detected. Strategic launch detected.
Not going to break through there unless you take out that anti-nuke. Oh, potential vulnerabilities for the support commanders. Carlitos back up to 1.7. Presumably after he inherited from Polygon, Scathis retrains to the right-hand side of the map, where there's a new Scathis under construction for Carlitos. In they come. Carving their way through. There's a lot of aircraft carriers, though, which pack a lot of anti-air firepower, as we've already said.
Strategic launch detected.
Gunships cream through one as they pass over. Down goes a second.
Strategic launch detected.
Is this a suicide run to try and take out that SMD? It might well be. Shielding down. Oh, down goes the SMD. We're going to switch up onto the Scathis. There's another SMD back here, though. It's not loaded. If he's got a nuke ready to go.
Strategic launch detected.
He fires one. So that might be the nuke dealt with.
Strategic launch detected.
Sacrificed a lot of broadswords in that to get that done. And he's about to have another Mavor to worry about. Oh no, it was in range of an SMD back here. I was sure that was going to sneak through. The 11 says, can't you just give up? I want to sleep. Well, in multiplayer, I mean, obviously, so this is running at... Now it's saying it's running at normal speed, but I've been at -2 for most of it. And at times down to -7, 8 on the slow part. So you can imagine in multiplayer, when it only runs at the slowest person's computer, they will have been playing this game for... who knows, 2.5 hours
Strategic launch
at
detected.
this point, potentially. So it is definitely late for them. And this will be a little bit of a departure. The first land experimental we've seen in a while emerge from the water. There won't be much there when he pulls out off the beach. But Carlitos does land another nuke over here, manages to take out that Scathis at last. It seemed like that was the one thing he really wanted to do. Second nuke out. Carlitos' comm sitting by the nuke launcher, refusing to go down. Megalith out of the waves, Fat Boy, and a bug nearby over here. I wouldn't be surprised if they're brought in quickly to deal with that. But 1 or 2 shields left surrounding Carlitos. He's got that extended personal shield as well. Needs to get a couple of decent hits from the Mavor, would help him out. Governor Fire slowly tickling down that Megalith. Quite a few experimentals here. They need to be brought in to defend the comm. The comm is on the move. This nuke launcher with 144 kills has been doing work.
Strategic launch detected.
Another one back up here with 11. But they are done. Well and truly done. Eivor chimes in to get the last hit on that second launcher. Carlitos fighting to the bitter, bitter end. Another Scathis under production, this time under the water in the small pond next to Polygon's old base. 1 hour 25. This really has been an epic like we haven't seen for some time. And a new Yolona Os, because why not? Blanket the area.
Strategic launch detected.
If that makes it through, it's just going to be shy anyway of Carlitos' comm. Flying overhead some SMD here, not currently loaded. Might snag a couple of support commanders, maybe some down here. Just out of range of the commander. But just can't do anything about these Mavor shells that bit by bit are just tidying up all of this blue that he inherited from his teammates' demise. All of this was very densely populated, and bit by bit it's just being thinned out. Carlitos prolonging the game for as long as possible.
Strategic launch detected.
Just takes 1 or 2 lucky
Strategic launch
Mavor
detected.
shells. Oh, that was close. Another round of nukes inbound. There goes that little bit with an anti-nuke up front. Will this one connect? No, it won't. Silo at the back still with 5 SMD nukes, anti-nukes, sorry, in the clip. Oh! Carlitos, personal shield, almost down and out now. The personal subject of Mavor fire. This can be very, very bad for your health indeed. Needs to get himself
Strategic
under
launch
shield
detected.
coverage. A new volley of nukes in towards, this time, the destination to which Carlitos is heading. This trio of shield generators.
Strategic launch detected.
Oh, they're peppering the area. Mavor shells landing nearby. Shock waves passing over him, ignoring them like an absolute boss. And then he gets hit. And down he goes. 1 hour 28. Didn't even give a kill, I don't think. A kill message, or I might have missed that. But I strongly suspect that was one of the 11's Mavor shells that picked him off at the end there. But wow, 1.5 hours. I remember the last time we've seen that many game enders come out. That level of prolonged standoff tactics, the outrageous amounts of artillery, and the ridiculous number of nukes. Absolutely brutal. I know I should be playing some games at the end, guys, like I said I was going to, but the problem is I just have nothing left in the tank at the end of these casts. So the trick is, if you want to see me get creamed more on FAF, you have to send me in more non-epics, and then I will have something left to actually play, because well, I need all the help I can get at the best of times, quite frankly. And yeah, after one of these, I stand no chance. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget the tourney, as I said before. If you feel intrepid enough to get involved, check that out, guys. It's a qualifying tournament, first of all, which will start on the 10th of October. And there will be 4, I think they're scheduled for up to 4 qualifying tournaments. So if you don't get in on this one, they'll get you in on the next one, I'm sure. But go ahead, sign up if you're feeling lucky, and there could be some money in it for you. Why not? Test your wits against Faf's best, and of course Faf's not so best, just the people who want to go in some cash but don't have the chops. Whichever bracket you fall in, it doesn't matter. It's all fun and games, and it's all content for us lot. Cool. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. But until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.